It's very difficult for me to say that there's a car that is absolutely best in class, bar none, hands down. And that's what I used to say about the old Honda Fit. This is the new one, the 2015. And coming up next, we're going to find out whether or not this baby is best in class. It is very hard for me not to do baby talk when I'm looking at this cute little engine because it's so cute and it's so small. It's a 1.5 liter four-cylinder engine that makes 130 horsepower and 114 pound-feet of torque. This particular one is hooked up to a 6-speed manual transmission, which is actually really good. There is a continuously variable transmission that is available as well. And with that transmission, combined MPG, 35 miles per gallon. You're such a good little engine, you are. Honda has always had pretty good styling with the Fit. I mean, look, it's an economy car, it's a small car, but it's always been cute. And now they've taken the style and kind of lifted it a level to make it, well, a little bit more modern. And it looks a lot more like a Civic, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, I admit the color is a little bit much. I drive around and I feel like a little demasculated, but there are other colors that it looks really good in. Best of all, the way it's designed overall, you can't mistake it for anything else. It's still a Honda Fit. I really am very fond of the Fit. I really think that it represents the direction most car makers should be going in terms of overall build, utility, and efficiency. They have a new engine. It's an Earth Dreams 1.5 liter engine, and it's zippy enough. 130 horsepower is okay. I mean, granted, up here in Colorado, over a mile above sea level, it's probably more like 105, maybe 107 horsepower. But it still does okay. It doesn't really struggle, and it moves surprisingly well on the highway. Now, I'm staying in second gear as I go around the track, so you're hearing the engine hum, but it's relatively quiet, a little bit quieter than the previous model. On top of that, the ride is really good. For a small car, I say best in class by far. The interior is what the Honda Fit is all about. This is the most utilitarian vehicle in its class. It's user-friendly, and it is amazing not only for kids who are starting off in college, but small families, and I'll show you why. First of all, in the front, very, very simple setup. And there is enough room for somebody over 6 foot to drive. However, the way the seats are, I really wish it would travel back about another inch because my knees kind of feel a little, I don't know, cramped at an unusual position, especially when I'm driving the stick. And around we go, big corner. Whee! I wouldn't say the steering is sporty, but it does communicate a little tiny bit. Obviously, it's not a sports car. There we go. It's still more comfortable than the vehicle it replaces. I cannot say the same thing about the driver's seat. It's very narrow, so for my big American ass, it actually feels like I'm just taking up the maximum amount of space. Now there's some really cool stuff I wanted to show you while I'm hanging here, and that is turn signals. Whoops, meant that. So, as long as you're in gear, let's see here, there we go. See that? So if I have my right turn signal on, that's what I'm seeing. So that projects right out from the mirror, and that is awesome. It's all about the back seat. Come here. Look at this. Now, I left the child seat in there. Normally we don't. We yank them out. But I wanted to show you how much space there is, because normally child seats take up tons and tons of space. There's enough room back here for 3 adults. And, oh, I love this part, they have these wonderful fold-up magic seats. Now, you just pull it up from the ground to do that, and then once you push down its support, it stays exactly where it is. There's enough room in here to put in a bicycle if you remove the front tire from a large 10-speed, or a large kennel, or a ton of dog food. I know that because I've done it before. It's a quiet, comfortable interior for passengers. As a driver, the way I'm built, my legs kind of, this is as far back as the seat goes, so my legs kind of feel like they're pushed open a little bit. So it's not the most comfortable for me, but for other people, it's quite comfortable. Okay, now, here's a huge thing, and it's easier to show while you're actually driving. Honda used to be notorious for having too many friggin' buttons, but now they have almost none. All of the buttons for your infotainment system are contained within the system itself. Everything else, your HVAC controls, very simple. Everything here is just a breeze. All right, stand by here. And away we go. Bad shift, I know. I'm not used to it. This thing revs higher than a lot of its competitors. It's all right. It actually has some really good traction around some of these corners, and it gives you enough feedback to make corrections that you need. Now it redlines at nearly, I'd say 6,800 RPM, so you can just rev the crap out of it all day long. In fact, that's how you get your maximum power. All right, that was a fun little lap right there. And it gets better, because back here, all this extra trunk space, it means that altogether, once you fold everything flat, you have as much room as small SUVs. I kid you not. The reason why is because they took the gas tank and they moved it underneath the driver's seat, so everything sinks down lower. So you have a lot of extra space, and you have a little bit of storage down here as well. And yes, there is a spare tire, and yes, it is a donut, and I have no idea how Honda managed to get so much room out of such a small car. I've been thinking about this car a lot because a friend of mine just bought one, and he is in love with it. He has a small family. Andre's family has one. Roman's family has one. You know why? Because it is the best car in its class. On the TFL scale, buy it, lease it, rent it, or forget it, I say buy it. Sure, there are a couple issues, and I really wish they would be handled in terms of it's not that roomy for a really big driver. But as long as you're an average-sized person without a ridiculously large American ass, you're going to be really comfortable driving it, and your family or your friends or your furniture or your dogs are going to be comfortable inside of it. Yes, I would buy this with my own money if I needed a car like this. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan Adlin saying, don't forget to go to tflcar.com for news, views, and real-world reviews. Auf Wiedersehen.